Hi there, my name is Cameron Cowan. I am doing this fun little video. It's called Clothing Sizes Are Too Small. This is some vintage audio I found on my SoundCloud that I had not made a video for, hadn't used, had forgotten about, was in archive, and I'm trying to kind of clean out the archives and upload things that I hadn't had before and hadn't necessarily brought out. And so this is about clothing and fashion and the difficulty of shopping as a larger person. And it's a great follow up to my fashion series, Fashion Moves the World, that I did with my friend Brady. And so it's just a little bit of audio, so enjoy that. And thanks so much for watching, and happy shopping out there. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome to my special storytelling series that I'm launching. I am really excited to be doing these mini versions of some stand up comedy routines I used to do and just some fascinating stories that I've been excited to tell. I've been sitting on this project for a long time now, and I finally sat down, I got everything written, and I started recording, and I just had a lot of fun with it. I just had a lot of fun, and I created these things, and I'm happy to be bringing them to you. It's a little different than what we normally do on the podcast channel, but I know that you will enjoy it. So I am so happy bringing this to you. Please enjoy it. I can't wait to get your feedback, and I can't wait to see what other stories you tell me as you've experienced these stories as well. So let's make it a sharing. I'm excited for you to hear this, and here it is. It's story time with Cameron. Enjoy. I've recently been doing some clothes shopping. I haven't really gotten a chance to work that much on my wardrobe situation in a long time. And my body has changed a lot as time has gone on. I've gotten taller, I've gotten bigger, I've lost a lot of weight. I think clothes just fit me differently now, and I'm convinced sizes are getting smaller. And it's like very disconcerting when you have not gained any weight. You've gone on the scale, you've stayed steady, you have put down the cake, like all these things, and like your weight and body has been stable. And then you go to the store and you try something on, and it's like trying to fit yourself into a too small straitjacket. Like it's just a mess. And that's why it just adds to the whole thing that I'm absolutely 110% convinced that clothing sizes are getting smaller. Someone told me once that a lot of the Chinese manufacturing places, the people use to manufacture clothes, like to cut off like an eighth inch of fabric off every piece because it saves them hundreds of yards of fabric on mass-produced things, especially expensive things like denim. And getting jeans to fit right is just damn near impossible because at the one hand the fabric is super unforgiving, but at the same time though it stretches out over time, which for women they don't want that way, but for guys we're like that first day, like you've just like washed your jeans and it's tight and you are like shimmying into them, it's like the hardest. But then like after like a couple days of wear, then it feels really good. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of guy, I don't wash my jeans very often. In fact, if I can, I try to freeze them. That's one of the best. If you have expensive denim, like you have selvage denim, anything super expensive, freezing is awesome because it gets everything out. Like you literally can like dab out the stains with a little bit of stain remover and water, and then literally put those suckers in the freezer. Everything of importance gets frozen. You take them out, shake them off, let them warm up to room temperature, and you're on your way. And you don't have to go through that first day of trying to fit your legs through, those things, and it looking like you're, trying to remake sausage using your own materials. But yeah, clothing sizes are getting smaller, and it's super annoying. And especially being a larger gentleman, as is myself, it's like, thank you, China factories. I'm so glad you're saving money on that eighth inch of fabric. But guess what? I need that eighth inch for comfort and for life and for like those days when I eat a brownie and I don't want to feel guilty. Like I need my eighth inch. And it's not like clothes are getting any cheaper either. If anything, clothes are getting more expensive, which is funny because usually when you have things at scale and you use cheap overseas labor, prices are supposed to go down. But no, not even close. Prices remain fairly flat. And I don't know, I'm just not having any of it. It's like I'm getting less fabric in clothes that don't fit right. I'm having to buy bigger sizes that is now more expensive, and especially I tend to shop at clothing retailers that cater to a man of a certain size, and it's like, look, you of all people I expect to have things on point. Now, if I dash over to Old Navy, I know what I'm getting and I understand that. But if I'm going to a big and tall men's store, dear God, please, for the love of all that's holy, please have clothes that are going to be cut right and fit properly and do the right thing and all that sort of thing, because that is what is really, really essential when it comes to clothing fit. And it's just so crazy. I'm one, I don't like to try and clothes in the store. I am the guy, I don't like it. It's the whole, just no. The getting undressed in the little booth thing and the way they lock them for loss prevention, that whole thing. No, no, no. I'm one of those, I know my sizes and I like to go in, get what I need. I like to go home, try it on. I leave all the tags and everything on, and if it doesn't work, then I go back and then I make my returns and exchanges and all that type of thing. The only place where that's annoying is mail order, and I do order from one mail order company. That's a little awkward. I had bought this rain jacket. I literally had to send it back. It was a designer, and I had to send it back and forth 3 times because they cut it narrow, and so I'm like, getting a progressively larger size, trying to find something that is nice and comfortable. And I'm the type of guy, I like to be able to move my arms in some kind of comfort. I like to be able to, be free with my clothes in my life and all this type of thing. I can't stand anything that's too constraining. And so sometimes I size up in order to get that kind of freedom. But I'm definitely one of those, I try on at home, where it's like, if I like try on a pair of jeans and they don't fit and I need to have a nervous breakdown and cry about my life, I can do so in the privacy of my own home and not have to like deal with a little knock, that little, are you okay in there? Do you need anything? No, I'm having an existential crisis. Like, just leave me. Like, I can't do it. I just can't. I just can't, don't, won't, just no. I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's clothes are fun times. They're I do like clothes though. I like accessories. My fashion strategy, because I'm a larger guy, has always been get the basics you need: sweaters, t-shirts, jeans, and such at the big men's store, but then accessorize it with designers. So like all my scarves, all my fragrances, all that type of thing are awesome designers. All my shoes are great companies. Like that's how I do it, and so I look very really fashionable without having to like go to Macy's and watch pant sizes stop at a 42 and just be like, would it be so hard to keep going past 42? I mean, and especially considering we live in a country that has an obesity epidemic. Like, Macy's, what are you going to do when 42 doesn't cut it? Are you going to forever exile us to online if something is available at all? Or to the especially big and tall section? Given the fact that this country has an obesity epidemic, big and tall is no longer a specialty. It's about to become as common as air. And that can say a lot about our society. And this is not the talk show, so I'm not here to talk about that. But I am here to say it sucks to never be able to shop in a department store because of their own rarefied ideas of what sizes people should and should not wear, all in the name of trying to keep stock on the floor. It's like, look, build racks a little longer. have one of each, have one or two of each size, and go from there. You needn't make it complicated. And there are lots of places that do it or used to do it. I remember back in the day, Old Navy, which goes up to 3X, used to stock all of its sizes in store. It doesn't anymore. If you want 2X and 3X things, you have to go online, but it used to, is my point. There's, let's see who else. Oh, J.C. Penney actually does a pretty good job of it. Sears, if you go shopping for clothes at Sears, I have a couple times, is does a pretty good job of it. And it can be done. It really, really and truly can be done. It just takes a concerted effort to actually make that happen and occur. And I think department stores need to get with the program. And I'm sure a lot of commenters and people would say, well, you could also, get your fat ass from the gym and lose weight and blah, blah, blah. It's like, but here's what you don't know, internet commentators who say that I need to stop by a gym, is that I did. Just today, in fact, as I record this, I literally was at the gym. If you'd been there, at the 24-hour fitness where I work out, you would have seen me, and you would also know if you talk to the ladies at the front desk. I'm a regular. They know me by name and on site. In fact, one of them knows me by has on with me on a first name basis. I am at a gym regularly. I don't eat this way, and guess what? Not everyone is going to fit into teeny tiny clothes, and I've had firsthand evidence of this. I have been overweight most, if not all, of my life. I've been literally probably since I was 7 or 8 years old, due to a variety of medical conditions. My mother has been overweight most of her life as well. She used to make her own clothes. I remember when I was a little boy, she used to make most of her own clothes because it was so hard to find things. And she had kind of a set pattern, and it worked. And yeah, it was all right. It was good. And so some people there just aren't that way, and then some people, they get heavier as they get older, and it is what it is. It's not the end of the world to be overweight. I mean, obviously, if you're having a health problem and a health crisis, you might want to consider making some lifestyle changes. And I'm a big proponent of eating healthy and eating green things and eating foods that are good for you that your body can need. And if it comes in a package or a box, you probably shouldn't be eating it. And I've been eating that way for a very, very long time. And that is not going to automatically make me a 150 pounds and all that type of thing. That's not everybody. And I think it's high time, especially I've experienced in fashion, the world of fashion and department stores and all that type of thing, get on board and actually offer clothes in sizes, in waist sizes, all this type of thing that people can actually wear and embrace everyone. And to me, if they just embrace this, it would save. I mean, a lot of these places are failing. Imagine if Sears turned it around and started this with their clothing strategy. Imagine if J.C. Penney was kind of like, no more big and tall section. We have great clothes for every size all through the store, like QVC, extra small to 3X. Please come into our store. We've got it all. Imagine how liberating it would be. Imagine how many people would be beaten feet to their blessed department store sales floors in order to take a look at these new clothing goods. It would totally revolutionize the way like clothes are sold in this country. And to me, it seems so common sense and so simple that the fact they aren't doing it, I think, is rather interesting. And like I said, the fact that this is happening in our society is a whole separate discussion. But I think it's something that finally needs to change. But will it anytime soon? Probably not. Department stores are in disarray. Shopping for clothes is always weird, especially as a dude. You know the dudes that have it lucky are the dudes that bring their girlfriend shopping with them. Because then, of course, the retail lady goes over and she immediately just talks to the girlfriend. It's like the guy isn't even there. It's like, this is a life size anatomical Ken doll, and we get to dress him like we're playing Barbies with your husband. And he just has to stand there and just like put on clothes as they're told to him. In fact, it would be easy to dress him as a doll because his elbows bend. Like, it just would pretty effortless. Now, what's fun is if you go into a place and you don't have a girlfriend with you. If you're a single dude, you're by yourself and you're in there to buy something, like all of a sudden it's kind of like the sales girl doesn't know who to talk to because she's not used to addressing the man. So she like is like looking around you, especially at the big men's store. She has to lean over a long way. She's like looking around you, being like, who isn't there? Where is she? It's like I'm right here. Hello, I'm like a larger dude. Like it's kind of hard to miss me. And then she actually has to like address you, and it's like she's trying to learn English all over again because she's like, oh. Hey, you came in today. What are you looking for? Can I help you? And it's kind of like, it's you're honey. You're making this way too hard. You don't need to work this hard or think this hard. Just speak to me normally. It's okay. Yes, I'm coming in for something. I pretty well know what I'm looking for. And like a typical guy, I'm gonna come in, grab what I need, and get the hell out and get on with my life. I'm not always quite that good, but sometimes I am. And go from there. And it just like becomes this super awkward, confusing experience that's funny. And it's fun times. I'll tell you one of the most judgmental places to buy clothes is the big and tall men's store. Now I go into the one in my local area regularly, which is sometimes why I order from the mail catalog place. But I go into the one, and everyone automatically like you think a Weight Watchers meeting is judgmental. You have not been clothes shopping at the Big and Tall Men's store. Every guy that walks in, they automatically are evaluating you. Are you just like a bigger guy who's kind of built out and needs clothes that fit, or are you like genuinely like genotonously orbitally like fat? Like do small children get caught in your gravitational orbit? And I'm kind of like in between. Like, I'm clearly a bigger dude, but it's like kind of obvious that I work out. You can definitely see there are some like problem areas in terms of fat, but I'm just a big dude. I have broad shoulders, I have a big head, I'm just a big guy. And so they're kind of like don't know what to do with me. It's kind of like, oh my goodness, we can't like judge you with extra judgmental sauce for just being fat, but you're also because you're just a big dude, but then you're also kind of fat too. But like you carry it really well. It's like it's just it breaks down the whole judgmental system. And it's funny. But I'll say I'm guilty of it as well. Like the minute that door rings, everyone looks like, oh my goodness, is it genuinely big dude or is it fat dude or is it super tall dude? Like I was shopping at this one store and this guy came in who was 7'1", skinny as a rail, weighed like a buck 80, 7'1", and he was in there to buy pants. Because as you can imagine, buying pants when you're 7'1" is a problem. And so he was in there buying pants. It was fun times. It was fun times. But see, we couldn't judge him because he was just really tall and skinny. So it's kind of like, oh, carry on. That's just tall guy, But the next guy comes in and it's like the next guy that come in might be just like super fat in a tracksuit, gasping for air, red splotches, hair askew, all this type of thing. Um, trying to buy some clothes. Much love to everyone though. I mean, it's even though I make jokes about how the most judgmental place is the place where people go there to not be judged. Even though I make a joke about that, shout out to all those guys though, because regardless of, I don't agree with internet commentators. It's like if you have a body, you should be able to wear clothes and look as good as you want to and go about your life and live what you're doing because we don't know your story. We don't know how healthy you do or do not eat. And we just cannot make judgments of it because we don't know what brought you to this moment. Like most people don't know, I really have quite severe and debilitating asthma. I was unable to exercise for years. And then I had lost a lot of weight in the past. Like people don't know that part of my story and don't know that it has been a struggle my entire life and most likely will continue to be for the foreseeable future unless I go in and have it all sucked out and tucked in and all this type of thing. Like it's going to be an ongoing problem. And yeah, it seems like everyone has a thyroid thing or a this or a that. It's like, well, we also live in a society with food that's full of chemicals and things that are bad for us that are causing all of these things. So obviously, there's going to be consequences to those actions. So rather than judging individual people for simply being able to show up to life, which for some days can be one of the most difficult things you can do, let us exist in love. Because guess what? There's enough problems in this world. The last thing we need to do is be being a bitch to each other, quite honestly. Quite honestly. So, like I said, even though I like to judge and I like to poke, and my head turns just as fast when that doorbell at the Big and Tall men's store rings, just like everybody else, we do have to act in love and be joyful with one another and go on with ourselves, because ultimately life is difficult. And for some people with anxiety, walking into that store can be their amazingly big thing for the day. Like that can sometimes be, really for some people, can be an act of bravery. And you know what? I am okay with that. That's all for this episode of the Cameron Journal podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Visit us online at CameronJournal.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I love to talk to my followers and listeners, so please feel free to get us on social media at Cameron Cowan on Twitter, and we'll see you next time on the Cameron Journal podcast.